Gorgeous. You still need the jacket though. Something light will suffice. 57 degrees in the city, a little cooler, not as chilly as this time yesterday. We'll show you that temperature difference. Yeah, there we go. A good 9-degree jump from yesterday in Brookhaven, 7 degrees up. Farmingdale, 8 in New York City. And it's going to be that kind of day where that warmth will kick in. So it'll start to really feel like spring. Low to mid 70s, upper 70s, especially farther north and west, which is usually not the case. Well, I'll show you those temperatures coming up. Case being, we have the winds coming out of the southwest. We have a couple areas of low pressure that we're watching. High offshore, that's also aiding in that return flow. It's helping with that southwesterly breeze. As a look at your day plan, we'll have a closer look at your extended coming up. Now let's get a closer look at that commute with Alex Lee.
The Pix 11
we can't see the northern lights. We couldn't see the other thing. You know, what's up with come on, man.
Can we see something? But you know, during, when we get into June and July, a lot of the times we do look out and skies are pretty clear, so we're keeping our fingers crossed that that is the case. I mean, April, May usually are rainiest as far as, getting ready for summer. So here's what. It's going to be quite clear. As a matter of fact, look at the picture behind me. This is a live shot, Manhattan skyline, gorgeous conditions. So 57 degrees, clear sky, humidity lower than yesterday. Yesterday we were near 90%. And as a matter of fact, we did have some fog to have to contend with. Now, we have been talking about the Canadian wildfires. Last year, if you remember June, oh my goodness, we were like knee deep in smoke across much of the area. But it's confined, these wildfires, mainly British Columbia, Alberta. As you remember, last year it was like British Columbia, it was like Quebec, it was like on in through Nova Scotia. But it looks like it'll stay confined well to our north. But I wanted to point your attention to this just to give you an idea. Our air quality looks good. Remember, 50 or below, that's what we look to. Alex Lee with traffic now.
Stacy-Ann and her sky blue, I love it. 412, and here's a live look at the George Washington Bridge. We have lower level construction both directions, inbound, outbound. You're going to have to go to the upper level. It's fine. North Tube closed at the Lincoln Tunnel. It's usual at the Holland. Outbound, fully closed, one lane blocked. Inbound, all of this wrapping up right around 5 a.m. as per usual. Vanessa and Craig, back to you guys.
All right, Alex, thank you so much. 412 here, and a tourist stabbed while walking near Times Square.
Today, certainly not as chilly, but we are tracking showers. Will it impact the Mets game this afternoon? And any daily activities you got going on, we'll let you know after the break.
Come on, Craig, give it a try. Go to monitor 5.
No, the camera's on.
I don't want to break out my African dance background, but
that's for later.
You want to be dancing in the rain later. Maybe
Yes.
it's expected to rain later on this evening and tomorrow. Fingers crossed that it's going to hold up because it looked like it was going later on this evening. some models want to inch it a little closer.
Okay.
What you doing with your body right there?
That was that model
I saw
thing.
it. She
Yeah.
was doing it. Oh my God, I love it. All right.
The roads are dry right now. We do have construction out there, of course. That's what usually goes on this time of the morning. 95, live look here at road work. We've got lane closures. They're single laning. Southbound exit 18 to 16 through Norwalk, going to a map so you can see where it is. We also have construction you can see on the Merritt Parkway where we usually do between exits 38 and 40, so delays there as well. Alternate side parking rules in effect today. Meteorologist Stacy-Ann Gooden now with more on the forecast.
A dry start to the day, but it looks like it'll be a wet finish, and it looks like it's going to be pretty soggy tomorrow. The question is, how much of that will we get? How far north would the system get? That's something that we're really going to comb out and time out for you, let you know what's going on. So we have a couple waves of low pressure along this frontal boundary. So that's system one. Staying to our north did provide us with a few showers late yesterday, mainly north. But then this is our next system creeping in from the Ohio Valley as well that we're going to be tracking. So few things going on. Taking a look, temperatures in the 50s. If you're in Queens, Ozone Park, it's upper 50s. The same rings true across much of the area. A little chillier in Montgomery at 47. We got 50s, Farmingdale, West Hampton. Winds are pretty light and will stay that way for the time being. There's a look at your planner. Low to mid 70s. A closer look at that forecast coming up. Vanessa, over to you.
All right, Stacy-Ann, thank you so much. 4:33, and how, as well as how he would be paid back. Pix 11's Anthony DiLorenzo was inside the courtroom and has a breakdown of the key testimony.
All right, I'm here to answer that for you. So winds out of the southwest is going to be pumping in that milder air. We have that frontal boundary well to our south, or rather north, and we have another system to our south and west that we're tracking as well. So here's a look at the timeline. Now, this particular model updates every hour. It's saying, hey, we may get showers as early as around 2 o'clock north and west. I think this may be a little overdone, but can't rule out a sprinkle or two earlier in the afternoon. It does get underway later on in the evening. I think closer to around the 6, 7 o'clock hours, what I think is a little bit more accurate. Of course, as things progress, as things change, we'll let you know. Notice the southerly flow and more of a stable air being pumped in because the ocean waters right now is in the 50s, right? So when we have water temperatures that cool, it usually adds as a stable layer and kind of keeps things at bay for the time being. However, not for long though, because we anticipate more showers moving through, a little bit more widespread as we head into Wednesday. In terms of our wind speeds, mainly out of the southwest today, breezy at times. As a matter of fact, those winds will really pick up as the storm pulls away. Look at that. We're in the teens and 20s. This is Thursday afternoon. Peak wind gusts near 30 miles per hour, maybe even higher in some locations, especially near the coast. Right now, temperatures in the 50s across the way. And then by the afternoon, take a look at milder temperatures north and west of the city. Normally it's cooler. Not the case. 75 New York City, a little bit warmer in Scarsdale, but if you're near the coast, it's one for tomorrow as well as Saturday on the way. More on that coming up. Let's get more on that commute with Alex Lee.
Stacy-Ann, thanks.
On the way. More on that coming up. Let's get more on that commute with Alex Lee.
Stacy-Ann, thank you so much. 449 live look across Bronx. We're looking good. East and west, this is going to be the pick because we do have that ongoing long-term work on the Bruckner. It's westbound at Hunts Point Avenue. It is intermittently very, very heavy. They're holding traffic on and off kind of from time to time. So do expect delays. With that, everything else through the Bronx is all right. 11 lines of the subway running with delays and service changes. This is the planned overnight track work going until 5, so it's almost out of here. And right now, all of our rails are running on or close to schedule. Alternate side parking rules are in effect today. The Pix 11 morning news. We'll be right back.
North of the city. Can't rule that out later on this afternoon and evening. That could contain some small hail and gusty winds, something that we're going to track. But in the meantime, it's nice and dry. We'll send things over to Alex Lee. Look at that. Gorgeous. Back to you.
The Pix 11 traffic report presented.
Yeah, you don't need that. Yeah.
Just another reason for me to break out the telescope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Introduce that to the kids.
Absolutely.
I think that's always a good investment.
Absolutely.
You know?
It is. It is. And it just sits there nice and, throughout the year. You break it out once in a while when there's a full moon or something and just, have at it, especially with the warm temperatures coming up. Speaking of warm, it's going to be a warm day, 61 by the time you drop the kids off at school. Gorgeous conditions, low to mid 70s, even milder further north and west of the city. Normally it's a little bit cooler, but temperatures are really going to be picking up. If you're near the coast, it's going to be much cooler. You'll notice that. You may even need a little bit of a cover up depending on where you are. Allergy report, maple, oak, birch. We're at moderate levels for today. Do what you can, keep the allergies at bay. UV index at 6, so don't forget the sunscreen throughout the day, especially if you're headed to the game. You may have to reapply. And look at your 3-day forecast. So late day showers, it's more like later on this evening. Can't rule out a sprinkle or two before then. You can see, so make sure you allow plenty of extra travel. With Alex Lee.
A tourist stabbed while walking near Times.
Well, here's what's happening. May, look at the month of May so far, slightly below average, not by much. And then when we look at the rain totals, we are definitely above, almost, well, half an inch above average for this time of year. We are expected to bridge that gap. Temperatures are in the upper 40s, low 50s, northeastern New Jersey. Taking a look across the way here, 53 Islip, 47 Montgomery, 50 in White Plains. Here's a look at your satellite and radar, and a wider view indicates we do have a system to our north. A couple areas of low pressure we're tracking. We have a third just off to the west, moving in from the Ohio Valley, Tennessee Valley. That's what's going to supply us with a lot of that moisture. The question is, where is all this going to set up? Now, one of our models indicating that we could have some sprinkles as early as around between noon and around 2. I mean, we can't rule out a sprinkle here or there, but I think mainly later on in the evening. I think this is safe to say after about 6, 7 o'clock is when we anticipate it. But again, just something to be mindful of in case if you have any outdoor plans. It does get pretty intense as we head into Wednesday. At times, heavy or steady rain north of the city. There is a chance of a thunderstorm. Even hail is possible as we head into Wednesday night into Thursday. Now, Thursday looks pretty wet, and you're expected to maybe budget yourself some extra travel time. Have the rain gear handy. One model indicating we'll stay below that half an inch across the city and points north, mainly south. That's where we get the higher totals, right? And then it's like, wait, the GFS model saying, you know what, we may get over an inch across the city. Eastern Long Island as well. Further north, lesser amounts. I think it's safe to say that we're not quite sure how far north the system is going to go. As we get closer, we'll definitely tweak things as we go. Winds will eventually be out of the northeast, and it'll pick up into the 20s, near 30 miles per hour. And then as we head into Friday looks pretty cloudy. So one tomorrow, temperatures struggling to get out of the 60s, 70s thereafter, and another cool one for your Saturday. That's it for now. Send it over to Alex Lee.
Stacy-Ann, and saying a quick good morning to Tyler. He's watching us right now live in East Brunswick, and he said to say good morning, so I'm saying good morning back to you. Thank you for watching.
Treadway.
Good morning. I'm Vanessa Freeman, and here's a look in 5 years. How cool would it be, though, to see, like, Clooney that close?
Yeah.
I can't believe he's not been on Broadway already.
Yeah.
Well, he was, I mean, that movie was, you know, pretty good.
Which
I mean,
movie is that?
Good
that
Night,
Night,
Good
Good
Luck.
Luck?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the movie.
You know, a hero.
I mean, when you think
a
about
hero of mine, Edward R. Murrow.
Yes.
When you think about him from like the facts of life to like
oh my
now,
God.
I know, right?
Such a journey.
I was like, oh my goodness.
Well,
Tell me
you know,
about
we
it.
think the same thing about Tom Hanks. Remember Tom Hanks in Bosom Buddies?
Buddies?
Can you imagine?
I think we're twins. We're just finish each
You
other.
guys are
And
Yeah.
Ron Howard was Opie on. No, I'm sorry. I went way too far back. I'm sorry. I went all the way back to Andy Griffin.
I'm going to excuse myself. I don't know what's going on
Andy
anymore.
No, Ron Howard, the famous director.
Oh, yeah,
Ron Howard,
Yes,
yes. I don't know
he was Opie on the Andy Griffith show when he was like 5 or
Yes,
6.
of course. I
yes.
remember that.
Yeah.
What
Yeah,
else do you
it was
have up there to
yesterday.
share with us, Craig?
Oh, I
And
have
Happy
many
Days
things.
and all that?
I have many things, but our producer would probably murder me.
That's another
if I
show.
keep going. Yes.
It's a whole other show.
The Craig Show.
We grew up on
That's a
those
show called
shows.
that's the show called The Producer Murders.
Oh, everybody loves true crime.
Yep.
And on that
And our
note,
producer just said, "Good call."
Good call.
Oh, yeah,
she said,
shoot,
you're
Taylor.
right. You're right.
yeah.
In other words, shut up. Move on.
Okay. Rain on the way. We'll talk
Okay.
about it. Traffic. Go.
Oh, there's the
See,
wipe.
that was good.
Okay. They don't even have to tell us to shut up. They just wipe. It's like the Oscars music. 5:32 live look Grand Central Parkway outside of LaGuardia Airport, and everybody's flowing freely east and west through Queens.
On this afternoon, winds are coming out of the south. There is a ridge of high pressure that's also aiding in bringing in milder air. When you have sinking air, it does warm as it compresses, get down to the surface. Yesterday, we were talking about that inversion that caused a little bit of fog, you know, rising temperatures with height. Not the case today. Nice clear start. Temperatures in the upper 40s, low 50s across the Hudson Valley. 49 Gardner, 49 Spring Valley, Ossining, Brewster. And then we have milder conditions across Long Island. We were looking at like 30s in places like West Hampton. Now we're talking about 53 in Farmingdale. If you're in places like Uniondale, Hempstead, the same rings true as far as New Jersey. A little bit of a mixture. We'll talk about that and more coming up. Vanessa, over to you.
Thank you, Stacy-Ann. 5:33 and
Story behind that,
I think
that whole thing. I kind of remember seeing it.
Yeah. It debuted in
one of his moves
Right.
actually was like a parody of a very famous picture. I'd have to look it up, but it's,
Craig is just a wealth of knowledge.
He is.
Because I'm like, I remember when it came
that
out.
gets me nowhere.
It gets you a gold star from me. How about that? Speaking of gold star, it's going to be golden today. Got plenty of sunshine to start, but then the clouds will take over. Winds out of the south. If you look closely at these wind particles, south-facing shores, you'll notice across Long Island, it's going to be cooler, especially if you're near the coast. Further inland you go, it's a little bit milder. I'm noticing temperatures are going to be warmer in the Hudson Valley, especially across places like Orange County, Rockland County, as well as Sullivan, Ulster. And there's that golden sunshine that we see there. Temperatures in the 50s going up steadily. Looks like a little bit of fog in White Plains. They're going to double check that. But we anticipate highs well into the 70s, courtesy of that southwest flow. We have that ridge that's really going to keep things nice and warm. And then temperatures will get back down into the upper 50s, low 60s. A little wet, though. We'll talk about more on that rain coming up. We'll send things over to Alex Lee. She's got your traffic.
And everything's looking good. Stacy-Ann in Brooklyn.
You know, that career of those 8 years, nobody could take that away, you know, from me. I mean, that whole place was like Shea Stadium. Nothing like playing at Shea Stadium, nothing like a curtain call, nothing like, you know, who we were as a team. And we had a lot of dogs on that team. And that's what I really love about that organization and being able to play in that organization. We kind of all came up together and blended in with some veteran players, and we became great at what we were trying to accomplish.
they've got it.
2 and done. Let's get it. Let's get it.
Let's do it.
All right.
In the meantime, 5:49. Let's look outside. Check our weather and traffic.
That's right. Alex Lee is standing by. She's over there cheering on the Knicks too. And then meteorologist Stacy-Ann Gooden with what's going to be going on at Citi Field today.
Yes.
Hopefully they'll get the game in.
It looks pretty good. I know there's some showers starting to creep in, but it looks like a lot of it will hold up. I'm so excited about Darryl Strawberry, by the way. I'm so happy for him. He has had such a long journey, such a great career, so retiring his number, love that. All right, so here's what's happening. We expect first pitch to get underway just past 1 o'clock, 70 degrees, 7th inning, about 72. It's going to be increasing clouds, a little bit breezy. Hopefully it won't affect the balls. Now, here's what I wanted to point your attention to. So take a look at this. Wind speeds or lack thereof. Calm conditions, Newburgh down and towards Sussex County, New Jersey. So north and west of the city, it's quite calm. You got a light breeze otherwise. Now, take a look at the relative humidity. We're almost at 100%. That measures how close we are to complete saturation, right? Although we're close to complete saturation across Long Island, visibility is much better there. Why? Well, because you have a little bit of that wind kind of mixing things around down to the surface. Not so much the case north and west. So visibility is down a little bit in Montgomery, 3/4 of a mile in Sussex. These are things that we're going to pay close attention to. If you're traveling to or from these areas, just be sure to allow plenty of extra travel time just to play it safe and get the low beams going. 5 miles, that's there in White Plains. So we're going to take a look at that. Hopefully we get more wind action and the sun will come shining, and that'll help to kind of really mix things out. So here's a look at our satellite and radar. We have this frontal boundary to our north. That's what's really going to bring a little added clouds beyond our coverage area, but we're paying close attention to this area of low pressure. That's what's going to be our next rainmaker. Right now things are dry. It's going to be dry throughout the day, and this is what I'm talking about. Can't rule out a first few sprinkles or so, but I think the consensus is later on in the evening. Doesn't look like it's going to affect the game. We should be able to get it in before things get underway. We'll let you know if it changes. changes because weather changes moment by moment, right? It becomes a little bit more saturated, a little bit more widespread thereafter. Winds will be light for now, but once the system pulls away, then it's going to get quite gusty, especially on Thursday. Breezy, mostly cloudy, struggling to get to 70 tomorrow. 75 for today, though. Alex, over to you.
Stacy-Ann, thank you. 5:50.